Don't start on January 1st. Start today. That habit that you're trying to implement, start doing it today after work. Trying to go to the gym, go after or before work today. That addiction you're trying to quit, figure out what you got to do in order to quit it, and then start on that today. You need to start journaling? Get in there and write something right now. Don't wait for January 1st. Don't wait for the false motivation that comes with, new year, new me, It's 2026 now, so now things will be different. Yeah, but what really separates the people that are going to make progress and the people that are not is that the people who are going to make progress are going to start immediately. They're not going to wait for a period of false motivation or something to change. They're going to make things change through their actions. It's sort of like, well, maybe this thing will help me quit my addiction. Maybe this thing, maybe that thing. It's like, well, there's a line between experimentation and then just waiting for something to come along and solve all your issues. Because you could be genuinely trying to figure out, how do I get in the gym? How do I get ripped? How do I fix my diet? All that stuff, right? But if your mindset is, well, I can't start today because I'm busy. I can't start implementing these habits because, today was a bad day for me. It's like everybody has bad days. Nothing you can do about that. Again, what separates the successful people from the non-successful people, and I don't even mean success in a purely secular way. I mean it in a spiritual way as well. What separates those two groups is that one doesn't wait for something to show up in order to change their life. They make it happen. Like, you can choose to pray, you can choose to break your addiction, you can choose to journal, you can choose to go to the gym. No one is going to do it for you. So you can decide to do that today. Doesn't need to be, oh, well, that was 2025 me. 2026 me is a completely different person. Literally nothing has changed about who you are because of a change in the date and the time and the year. It doesn't make a difference. What will make a difference is you taking major intention on your actions, the mindset that you want to have, and the habits that you need to start to build. That is the only thing that will propel you into the future. It's all habitual. It's all about mindset. We have to cut out all the other noise that says otherwise, frankly. Because at least from my experience, your mindset and your habits, these are tools that God has given you in order to build up your spirit. And the physicality side of it is just a manifestation of that, essentially. So prayer, for example, it's actually pretty synonymous with exercise, believe it or not. Because in exercise, you start with what you can do, and then you get stronger over time through constant failure and recovery. That is the same exact format that it is with prayer. Prayer, you start at the bottom with what you can do. Say it's the Jesus prayer. Say you're only able to say 30 Jesus prayers every day. Okay, but then next day, can you do 40? Can you do 50? Can you do 60? And then you say you miss a day. Well, then you brush yourself off, you repent, and then you recover, and then you come back to it with more intensity than before. That is how a muscle is built. That is also how your spirit is built. Because again, the physicality side of it is really just a manifestation of all those things, right? So once you understand that there's a hierarchy to those things, and that you don't have to wait on one to start the other, well, then it just becomes easy. Not easy, maybe easy is the wrong word for it. At the very least, it becomes simple. Because none of this is simple. It's not simple to say, I'm just going to start working out on January 1st. I'm not going to commit myself to anything serious until then. Okay, but what makes you think that you're going to have discipline then? Are you doing anything to actually build discipline until then? No. I do push-ups every single morning, not because it's going to be great for my physique or even my physicality, but because I want to break through the mental barrier that is tiredness when I wake up. I want to break through the mental barrier of I don't want to do these push-ups. So you need to also, on top of the things that you do want to start adding to your life, you need to add some habits that you really don't want to even do. And then you need to do them with a smile on your face, because when you do that, when you look at it and you roll it over in your mind and you make peace with it, that is when it's in your court. The ball has become in your court, and you can now do anything with it. You can, I'm not a sports guy, I'm not going to continue with the sports analogy, but basically it's like, on one hand, oh great, I'm having a bad day, I guess I'll just succumb to that and relapse and lose all my habits and all the progress that I've built up. And then the other side is like, okay, I had a bad day, everyone has bad days, I need to get over myself and just deal with it. And that is another thing that will separate the successful from the non-successful. Again, I don't mean it in a purely secular way. The non-successful will always say, why is this happening to me? The successful will always say, this is happening to me for a reason. And even if it's not happening to them for a reason, that still puts the ball in their court. Do you see what I'm saying? Even if they're completely delusional in thinking that there is anything remotely purpose-driven about what's happening to them, even if that's completely delusional, well, guess what? The ball is in their court now. So if you want to actually head into next year with exactly the tools that you need to start today. You don't wait until January 1st like everyone else, or December 31st, or whenever you plan on starting for the new year. You plan on starting today. Right now is the best time to do it, because right now is the only moment we have control over. It's the only moment that God has truly given us. In C.S. Lewis's The Screwtape Letters, Screwtape says to Wormwood that a great temptation of man to get him to fall into is to get him to dwell on either the past or worry about the future. Either is fine, because either are going to take your mind out of the present moment. But the present moment is really all you have actual control over. That's where we experience God. That's where we meet him. That's where we can decide what we're going to do. Yes, you can make plans for the future. Yes, you can learn from the past, but these are anecdotal. You understand? These are additional. These aren't control. These are just what ifs and regrets. That's really all it is at the end of the day. So live in this moment today. Pray. Bring yourself into the present moment through prayer, through exercise, through virtue. Fight for the good. Fight the good fight. Make 2026 your year by finishing off 2025 strong, starting today. God bless.